mora, wengu, mora, nachitamunga, mora, mukmuk, mora, wengu, mora, nachitamunga, mora, mukmuk, mora, wengu, mora, nachitamunga. Mara, muk muk, mara, wem, mara, chitanunga, da comare, bocojane, bocojane. Bonya da comare, bocojane, bocojane. Hey, 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 hey. Bonya da comare, bocojane, bocojane. 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 Hey, 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 hey. I'd like to ask Auntie Charlene to do the Welcome to Country for us.
Elders, students, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, and children. My name is Charlene Robinson, but I'm known throughout the community as Auntie Shaz. I am a local Dharawal elder, born and raised here in the Illawarra on Dharawal country. My kinship and connection through my mum's side is Kamilaroi, and on my dad's side I'm from a place called Walliga Lake, right down the coast, so that makes me Ewan and Durga. I am proud to be invited here today, again on this special occasion, graduation, a day where we all come together, a day that you all have worked really hard for. A day where you all will take a breath and start your journey forward, knowing you gave it your best. You gave it all your best. And knowing that your education now will carry you forward on your journey. I am so proud of each and every one of you, for it will be you that will carry this country forward. It will be you that will look after our country as you find your place and your space. We as Aboriginal people started our journey of education at birth. The school journey of education is so important to children. Let me share with you all some of that importance. Because children represented the future of the dream time, their education and development was very, very important. The process of imparting their complex development responsibilities began at birth. Dreaming stories, as told to children, stressed Aboriginal values such as respect for the old people, sharing of food, and duties to their kin and their land. In camp, children had the responsibility of looking after younger children and the older ones, and of course collecting firewood. Girls and young children went out food gathering with the women, while the older boys, they went hunting with the men. This was part of their education, learning about the land. You all started your educational journey at birth. You all have come such a long, long way. Be proud of what you have achieved. Stand tall. And as I said, Auntie is proud of you all. Yulunga, 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 welcome. Welcome to our land. Welcome to the Yuin Nation, Dharawal country, land of the Wadi Wadi people, the Dharawal and Alauri, and of course others that visit and have made this country their home. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional peoples of this land, the Wadi Wadi and Dharawal peoples, who have been the custodians of the land since the dream time, the Alcharinga, the past, the present, and the future. Dharawal land runs from Greater Sydney in the north to Picton in the west, and of course south to the Shoalhaven River, taking in Moss Vale, Kangaroo Valley, and here in the Illawarra. I ask you all to look after country as my people have done for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We fished the waters and we gathered our foods and our medicines. Mother Earth provided all the resources we needed to survive. In amongst this country and all over Dharawal land, there is a lot of evidence that proves our people have lived here and have enjoyed the fruits of the land for thousands and thousands of years. Modern research and science prove and acknowledge that we are the oldest living culture on this planet, something that we all who live here need to be proud of. Let us all pay respect to my spiritual ancestors, the traditional custodians of country, my elders, those of the past and present. For you know, without their sharing of their knowledge, wisdom, and their strength, I would not be standing here before you today. Graduates, just as your parents, family, teachers, and professors have done for you, they have shared their knowledge and their wisdom so you can all move forward in your life journey. I acknowledge and I pay respect to you all, for you will be our next leaders or elders. You will carry this country forward, for we all will pass on our next journey, and you will come up and you will be our next leaders. I say thank you for your studies, and I'm very proud of all of you. We welcome you to our country with respect and ask you to respect our country and our values, as we have done since the Alcharinga. We must always remember that this land is, and it always will be, Koori land. And in time, I hope for our country that equality, social and economic justice will be a reality for all people. Live each season as it passes, breathe the air, drink the drink, taste the fruit, and know that Mother Earth provides for all of us. Have a wonderful day, enjoy your journey. I wish you happiness, good health, and of course, again, a great journey through life. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Shaz, for that gracious welcome. Thank you for your wisdom and for your reflections on the place and importance of education. So welcome, everyone. My name is Professor Theo Farrell. I'm the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic and Student Life at the University of Wollongong. I am thrilled to be your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon. I would like to acknowledge our Indigenous Strategy Unit and our local Aboriginal community. Through their leadership has brought to life a vision for an inclusive, reconciled, and united Australia through this graduation ceremony where we recognise that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are the knowledge holders of country. Thank you for joining us here today on this special occasion. Now, before we begin proceedings, I'd like to remind people to please turn their mobile phones to silent. And also, just a little note, we have a power issue with our air conditioning unit, so we're trying to get it fixed, but meanwhile, we have opened the back doors to get an airflow, and I know the team are handing out water. The university is extremely proud of our graduates, and we are immensely excited to celebrate their achievements in person here today. We also congratulate family and friends who have supported our graduates on their learning journey. Now, we know our graduates have been through a lot. They've endured the many aspects of the COVID pandemic and everything that followed, and they have triumphed. And so, we are here today to congratulate our graduates on their many achievements and to acknowledge their dedication and commitment to their goals and their aspirations to make our community and our world a better place. So I'd like to invite you to please join me in congratulating them. So can we please now all stand for an instrumental version of the Australian National Anthem? Please be seated. I would now like to introduce our Deputy Chancellor, one of the university's highest officials, Mr. Warwick Shanks, to give the congratulatory address.
Graduates, family and friends, welcome to your graduation ceremony. My name is Warwick Shanks and I'm the Deputy Chancellor of the University of Wollongong, and I'm very honoured to be here with you today. It is absolutely the highlight of my role to be able to witness our students celebrate this great milestone. I'd also like to thank the Indigenous Strategy team and members of our Aboriginal community for leading our procession and the smoking ceremony today. I pay my respects to Aboriginal elders past and present and acknowledge their continued spiritual and cultural connection to all of the lands on which the University of Wollongong campuses are located. As part of today's celebration, we bring focus to the themes of the artwork Cultural Healing by artists Auntie Lorraine Brown and Auntie Narelle Thomas from the Kumadichi United Aboriginal Corporation. You will see this artwork all around you, on your graduation booklets, as part of the stage design and in various other contexts. We hope to continue learning from and building a deeper understanding of this cultural wisdom. Looking out across this marvellous sea of gowns, I'd like to begin by congratulating each and every one of our graduating students today. You are the reason that we all do what we do. Indeed, it's a special occasion for all of us, but it's especially significant for you, our graduates. Many of our graduates today are their first in their family to graduate from university, and this is a tremendous achievement. Today's events are the culmination of years of hard work, personal sacrifice and commitment, and I hope that each of you feel a deep sense of pride and will take this moment to reflect on your achievements and how far you have come. Of course, this time of celebration is important, and I hope you will soak up every minute of it. But I also want to emphasise that this is not a conclusion. Indeed, in many ways, this is just a beginning. May each of you capture these feelings today of pride, energy and passion and take them with you into your future. Graduation is also an opportunity to thank all those who made your achievements possible: your family, your friends, your mentors and your teachers. This is a special moment for all of them too, and I'm sure they are extremely proud of how far you have come. Today we acknowledge the important role that they have played and invite them to share in your success. I know that some of these important people are able to join you today, so treasure today's experience. As a cohort, you share in a unique educational experience in an extremely challenging time in our history. So much has changed in recent years, and like many industries, universities have had to innovate rapidly, particularly in our teaching and learning. The strength and determination you have shown to get here will stay with you and hold you in good stead for many years to come. The completion of your studies at UOW places you among the most employable graduates in Australia and indeed the world. The success of our graduates is one of the many reasons that our university enjoys such a strong reputation and is ranked among the top 1% of universities globally and aiming higher every day. With UOW students at our locations in Dubai, Hong Kong, Malaysia and soon India, as well as our partner institutions in China and Singapore, I hope that you feel proud to be a part of a university with an outstanding reputation that truly spans the globe. The transformation that you're making today, from student to graduate, is a significant opportunity to establish your priorities, take stock, and focus on your future. At the same time, leveraging all that you have learned, both academically and about life, during your time here at UOW. Alongside the many changes that will happen in your lives following graduation, today also marks a new type of connection with this university, one that I hope will be lifelong through further study or as a proud ambassador. Joining our vibrant global alumni community of more than 185,000 alumni from almost 200 different countries, you are connected by the shared experience of studying at the University of Wollongong. As much as is possible, I encourage you to maintain this connection with the university and your fellow graduates. The relationships that you have formed during your time here will be invaluable in the years to come. The university's commitment to a better future has shaped our direction and impact since our inception. In those early days, developing the Illawarra and its industries focused our intent, and our pioneering spirit was born. From these origins, we have grown to be a diverse and inclusive civic university working to solve global challenges and promoting harmony and social cohesion. Our success is seen through our wonderful graduates, our people, and our valued partnerships locally, regionally, and internationally. Together, we are working to solve the biggest questions facing society and striving toward a better quality of life for future generations. This theme has been increasing in prominence in light of the Australian Universities Accord. In essence, the Accord emphasises the pivotal role that universities play in advancing the prospects of our graduates and enriching the vitality of our communities. UOW is proud to contribute to the review process of the Accord. We have underlined the importance of actively championing lifelong education and addressing the diverse needs of communities. Graduates, this ceremony is public recognition of your commitment and achievement. It has been our absolute pleasure and privilege to have witnessed and played an integral role in your journey. As you begin your next chapter, what will you take with you from this place and this time? I'm confident that your experience here have shaped not only the person you are today, but also the career that you are about to embark upon. As graduates, you are now well placed to forge your own future, to create your own story with curiosity, empathy, and compassion. But it's also time now to celebrate. Celebrate your hard work and success, and know that the world is at your feet. As you set forth in your careers, remember to always be bold, courageous, and strong, and stay true to your beliefs. Beyond today's celebrations, I encourage you to set your sights high and work towards something you believe in, because when you find your purpose, you will find your place. Again, my best wishes and congratulations to each of our graduates. May you have a very happy and memorable day celebrating with loved ones, and thank you for making us proud.
Thank you, Deputy Chancellor. It is now my great pleasure to commence the presentation of graduates. I now introduce Executive Dean, Senior Professor Ursula Lisi, to present the graduates to the Deputy Chancellor for the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences.
Thank you, Professor Farrell. It's my great pleasure to be here celebrating with our graduates today. We are very proud of what you have all achieved, and I wish to convey my personal congratulations to all the graduates. Will the graduates who are to be presented with undergraduate and postgraduate awards from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduates to receive awards from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I confirm your admission to the awards for which you have qualified. Congratulations.
Graduates, please be seated.
Tashfiq Hamid. Sakibul Islam. Belma Pasalic. Nadia Rahman. Brandon Zeyante. Tariq Hussain. Shoyeb Ahmed. Gadyan Priyanga Akbar. Muhammad Al-Musilhi. Joshua Armour. Nicholas Arthur. Zachary James Bannon. Jason Brookfield. Timothy Burgoyne, Yida Chen, Paula Nicola Padua de Guzman, Eric Edgari, Dale Ferreira, Aidan James Fitzgerald, Aidan James Galovic, Clarissa Angelita Indriani, Christy Natalia Jusman, Brandon Lewisley, Pritam Mahal, Selby Douglas Malone, Chrissy Matthews, Adam Muscat, Tyler Mark Owen, Tai Anthony Papesh Ward, Peter Ramsey, Thomas Richmond, Varun Gaud Sara, Neil Sanjeev Shah, Mohammed Ahmad Taha, Kim Long Tran, Alvian Wijaya, Oscar Wooten Bittner, Rengui Zhou, Quinn Patrick Bruckman, Yuri Charapnin, Angus Dumarek, Thomas James Hobika, Tien Lok Lei, William McRobert, Hu Kang Nguyen, Pedro John Oste, David Timothy Patole, David John Frederick Sconce, Oliver Small, Jonah Vanderschuur, Daniel Jerome Vitacci. Aresva Aiza. Aidan Glenn David. Danilo Jagnic. Daniel Kondos. Mehap Deep Kaur. Hai Chen Shin. Dean Radacheski. Chanjot Singh. Meg Rochelle Sloan. Fazle Rabi Tusha. Marvin Cheka Ui. Jackie Wu. Ryan Lee. Brendan Stephen Markulin. Tyler Simmons. Nalin Wongtanakiate. Jared James Roberts. Kiara Nicole Spence. Karar Abu Al Qasim. Jonathan Beard. Dean Mitchell Kakamo. Jason Nicholas Baxter. Harry Lai. Michael Dominic Kaminski. Alex Edmund Pavia. Dylan Arling. Mohammed Nabil Akram. Amal Ali Abdurrahman Al-Tayeh. Shane Dick Lenehan. Ryan David Dickinson. Maureen Gorges. Lee Adam Hayek. Anthony Manglis. Samuel William Mackenzie. Shaunil Narayan. Adna Pasalic. Alain Paul. Jason John Payne. Josko Polat. Sujit Pusakal Sundarakshan. Mohammed Saad Sajjad. Adriano Sanio. Angus Seddon. Tom Chako Shaji. Yuhang Wang. Fraser Curtis White. Benjamin Wilson. Brittany Ann Woodgate. Xiao Yang Shan. Juathui Zhou. Brandon Thomas Adams. Bernardo Al-Shaloui. Saeed Sajjad Ali. Kashinta Imal Ambagahawata. Eknayake Mudian Selage Gitan Satsara Ambanpola. Roy James Bramich Wilson. Andreas David. Liam Flynn Elliott Rudder. Joe Farris. Patrick Hutton. Dylan Hislop. Jordan Joseph Janis. John Frederick Cayley. Mitchell Lewis. Rory Gilbert Lynch. Jared Marshall. Anthony Mason. Harris McLaughlin. Will Maroney. Angel Niazi. Jackson Todd Partridge. Chloe Nell Pateman. Jacob Radich. Poppy Rekti. Cameron Ricketts. Rajveer Sablok. Max Stanton Sevenoaks. Jordan Shipton.
Joshua Smythe.
Mitchell Thomas Spittles. Olivia Tanito. Riley Tracy. Jansen Vincent. Ricky Zhang. Ong Xiao A. Lachlan Campbell. Jackson Gunn. Nicholas Lord. Cameron Kavatz. Vincent Tim DeRova. Alexander Parayachi. Connor Patrick Higgs. Nash Crofts. Mitchell Burke.
We will be continuing with the presentation of awards shortly. I would now like to introduce our musical item for today. It's my pleasure to introduce Sandon Groves. Sandon is currently studying his honours in psychology here at UOW. He's a local musician who's been performing at weddings, venues and events for the last 5 years. Please join me in welcoming Sandon, who's going to perform Put Your Record On.
Three little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes we got it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Don't you hesitate, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere somehow. Mm. Blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside. Don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo. Maybe sometimes we feel afraid, but it's alright. The more you stay the same, yeah, the more they seem to change. Don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on, tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. Oh, you're gonna find your place somewhere, somehow. Just more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights keep me awake. I thought I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you wanna win. Girl, put your records on, sing me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your head down. And sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. And girl, put your records on, tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. Oh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
Thank you.
We will now present awards for our postgraduate graduates from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences.
Vanessa Watson. Mitchell James Pryor. Bobo Collet. Miranti Adiningtias Mohammed. Udesha Bhatia. Iyana Buhareva. Zan Chen. Christina Mary Jose. Sravia Kotla. Perry Clementine Kurt. Kishitij Lovlekar. Renzi Sebastian Marti. Dashith Srinivas. Abhishek Sulia. Kartik Vadera. Dijo Jose Votoli. Shuao Yan. Ashish Sharad Hawal. Carolyn Cyril Lopez. Anu Tapa. Stephen Kayembe. Kim Liang Ki. Dona Maria Augustine. Sudip Batarai. Sai Ramboya. Krishan Hasun Pereira Dasanayake Mudalige. Danush Dandapani. Sanjana Giri. Celine Rose Joshi. Akil Firas. Bibak Paudel. Achu Prasanna Kumar. Abra Ramit Samad. Pooja Ranmale. Gurinda Singh. Himanshu Upadhyay. Minha Abbasi. Diego Ariel Cherioni. Chris Irene. Prince John Matthew. Huynh Dang Kua Nguyen. Lincoln J. Turner. Peter Matthew Hayes. Harish Krishna Ravindran. Mohit Ruhil. Arafat Safdar. Mariam Subi Saeed Abdul Matal Egzairi. Shreya Arora. Shui Ting Chung. Varsha Johnson. Xia Qian Liu. Xiaoshang Qin. Xin Gao. Nishagiri Puri. Gautam Govindaraju. Hafiz Khawaja Amar Majid. Khushbu Prasad. Arslan Raza. Tae-Ki Young. Yawiwan Yamsumrual. Ekagrata. Xiangming Kong. Carla Vanessa Monteros Cadenas. Lin Lin Shi. Hussein Burak Turfanda. Takia Islam. Han Cheng Sai. Nagul Krishna Narayanan. Hong Kam Fan. Irfan bin Yusuf. Shen Yu Wang. Kai Shi Shuang. Roberto Fernando Carrez Chicharo.
It's now with great pleasure that I announce our doctoral award recipients today. Will the graduates who are to be presented with doctoral awards from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the doctoral graduates from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences who, by reason of their thesis and other work at the University of Wollongong, have met the requirements for admission to doctoral degrees.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I confirm your admission to the doctoral degrees for which you have qualified. Congratulations.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you for their doctoral degrees. For their study into the shear behavior of rock joints under cyclic loading for the safe and economical design of geostructure, Dr. Mayraj Haydar alias Amir Sumru. For their investigation of the behavior of sand scrap tire mixtures under the constant shear drain stress path, Dr. Shabir Ahmed. For their study of static and dynamic loading of cable bolts to improve ground support system, Dr. Sina Anzanpur. For their study of enhancing treatment efficiency and energy generation from septic tank effluent using constructed wetland microbial fuel cell systems, Dr. Atiya Ibrahimi. For their study of the fate of coronaviruses in urban wastewater system from the sewer stack to wastewater treatment plants, Dr. Ying Guo. For their examination of the utilization of basalt rock waste and blast furnace slag to produce a novel geopolymer, Dr. Muhsin Nawaz. For their exploration into using waste glass in eco-friendly concrete for stronger and more sustainable construction, Dr. Yuqing Chiang. For their study of applications of advanced computational modeling for principal underground mining hazards management and control, Dr. Ming Chiao. For their examination of the early detection of supply bottlenecks and development of subsequent countermeasures in an underground mine, Dr. David Kevin Walker. For their examination of wastewater-based epidemiology for SARS-CoV-2 and Campylobacter, including the detection of optimization and the understanding of in-situ decay, Dr. Suixin Zhang. For their study developing an end-to-end methodology for building digital twins of competitor organization, Dr. Ahmad Ali Mekbel Alaymet. For their study into the implementation of artificial intelligence approaches in assessment of blockage at cross-drainage hydraulic structure, Dr. Umar Iqbal. For their study into a sustainable framework for an industry-driven curriculum in producing sought-after ICT graduates, Dr. Robina Danai Tinawin. For their study into uncovering trends in healthcare costs and prevalent health issues in Australia through health insurance claims data analysis, Dr. Dinindu Kolia Vedanage. For their exploration into developing a machine understandable knowledge model of using non-medicine interventions to manage people's dementia behavioral symptoms, Dr. Zhengyu Zhang. for their study into identifying the existing modeling techniques of harmonics generated by the inverters, identify the strengths and drawbacks of using them in harmonic studies, and present new concepts relevant to the modeling of the low-order harmonic emission behavior of inverters. Dr. Samadhi Kaushalya Koralel Yanage. For their study of developing knowledge distillation techniques for fast and for getting robust deep learning models, Dr. Wu Min-Hyu Pan. For their study into operation and control strategies for offshore wave and wind energy conversion systems, Dr. Safdar Rasul. For their study of the information flow topology of connected autonomous vehicles, controller design, and performance optimization, Dr. Yan Yan. For their study into step length estimation in daily activities using RSSI-based techniques, Dr. Zanru Yang. For their exploration into new speech recording technology to make artificial intelligence hear us clearly, Dr. Jiahong Zhao. For their examination of the temperature distributions generated inside industrial stockpiles, Dr. Matthew Thomas Berry. For their investigation of novel approaches for optimizing the construction of multi-environmental trial datasets, Dr. Christopher James Lyle. For their study of statistical data privacy protection and density-based synthetic data methods, Dr. Bradley Nicholas Wakefield. For their examination of different strategies to enhance building energy flexibility via heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems, Dr. Mohammed Bilal Awan. For their study of supplier dominance in the airline industry, particularly, what evidence is there that a supplier can unduly influence the long-term strategy of an organization and own the supply chain, Dr. Peter John Critchley. For their examination into improving the cathode materials for high-performance lithium-ion batteries, Dr. Yameng Fan. For their study into efficiency of sprays for airborne dust suppression, Dr. Rongfu Liao. For their examination of the performance, optimization, and application of membrane distillation for desiccant regeneration in liquid desiccant air conditioning systems, Dr. Jingjing Liu. for their examination of developing modularized platforms that automate the production of functional composites based on liquid metal particles, Dr. Hongda Lu. For his research and development of a device to read and process the signals from the nerves in amputees to restore the sense of touch, Dr. Gerardo Allen Montoya Gurula. For their study into artifact reduction methods in iterative cone beam CT for radiotherapy applications, Dr. Meng Tsai. For their examination into the uncertainties associated with quantitative MRI techniques as per required for implementation into radiotherapy, Dr. Madeline Elizabeth Carr. For their study into the application of silicon microdosimetry for radiation protection and quality assurance in heavy ion therapy, Dr. Benjamin William James. For their study into microdosimetric instrumentation development for QA in heavy ion, boron neutron capture, and for fast neutron therapies, Dr. James Edward Wohratsky. For their exploration into innovative X-ray fluorescence techniques enabled by development of advanced X-ray optics, Dr. Jack Leslie Vincent Webster. And for their study of advanced electrolyte and host material design for high energy density sodium metal batteries, Dr. Lingfei Zhao. I now present the candidate to be admitted as an emeritus professor of the University of Wollongong. Will Senior Professor Paul Cooper please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present Senior Professor Paul Cooper. Over his 35 years of outstanding service, Paul has driven a revolution in sustainable building and technological innovation and transformed the university's sustainability direction. Paul's long-standing research excellence spans a variety of topics, ranging from sustainable buildings to renewable energy systems, air conditioning and ventilation systems, energy efficiency, advanced thermodynamics, and fluid mechanics. Joining UOW in 1988, Paul became the head of the School of Mechanical, Materials, and Mechatronic Engineering in 2008 before taking up his career-defining role as the director of the Sustainable Buildings Research Center in 2010. The iconic Sustainable Building Research Center grew from Paul's singular vision. He was a key member of the team that secured the funding for the building and drove its conception, design, and construction to the most stringent sustainability standards. the 6-star Green Star certified world-class research facility remains the only building in Australia and one of the just 3 outside the US awarded full living building status. This, alongside his career research and robust industry collaborations, has inspired a wave of new projects and influenced the building industry's capacity and desire to deliver more sustainable projects. Paul was also appointed a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Refrigeration and Air Conditioning and Heating in 2018, and in 2019 added the James Harrison Medal for his lifetime contribution to the industry to his many accolades. Paul spearheaded UOW's highly successful engagement with the international solar decathlon competitions. He led a team of students to win first place in the solar decathlon China in 2013 and played a vital role in Team UOW's Desert Rose Solar Decathlon House campaign, taking second place in the Middle East competition in 2018. A respected and insightful academic leader, Paul has guided UOW's environmental plan and implemented sustainability measures that place the university in excellent stead to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. He has also led innovations in teaching and learning, including establishing the highly popular Bachelor of Engineering honors in architectural engineering. Paul has supervised over undergraduate and postgraduate research students and mentored countless academic staff, which he has continued in his retirement. Deputy Chancellor, Senior Professor Paul Cooper's contribution to research, teaching and learning, governance, and community engagement at the university, and to creating a more sustainable future for industry and society is unparalleled. It's a privilege to present Senior Professor Paul Cooper to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I admit you as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong. Congratulations.
I now present the second candidate to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University. Will Professor William Price please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present Professor William Price. When Will Price joined the University of Wollongong as a lecturer in the Department of Chemistry in 1989, so began an outstanding contribution to research, teaching, and academic governance, spanning 34 years and continuing in his retirement. Will is a globally esteemed leader in physical, analytical, food, and materials chemistry. With an unwavering commitment to fundamental discoveries and their translational impact, he played a key role in establishing the field of smart dynamic membranes. His work has also led to many innovations in membrane systems for application in the wastewater treatment and food sectors. Working in and alongside industry, Will has forged sustained collaborations with leading industry partners, including the mining, food, manufacturing, and water sectors. Widely published in prestigious, high-impact journals, he has produced over 250 papers and has an H-index of 64. A mark of his standing, he served as a referee for many international journals and was appointed to the Australian Research Council College of Experts. Will's contribution to the university as an academic leader, while also maintaining a thriving research career, is extraordinary. He served in many key roles, including as the head of the School of Chemistry, Dean of Science, and Executive Director of the Australian Institute of Innovative Materials, approaching each leadership role with integrity, collegiality, and strategic insight. Profoundly committed to nurturing the success of others, he has been instrumental in the development of many outstanding researchers, supervised more than 30 higher degree research students to completion, championed student-centered learning, and led the creation and delivery of new courses and subjects. Will has contributed significantly to the university's research strategy, academic senates, University Research Council, and countless other committees and initiatives. He strongly embraced and advocated for the UOW Reconciliation Act and initiatives under the Australia Gender Equity Athena Swan program. Will served on the Australian Council of Deans of Science and committees of the Royal Australian Chemical Institute, leading and played an active role in shaping science teaching and research policy. He has won numerous awards and distinctions, including an Alexander von Humboldt Research Fellowship, a Queen Elizabeth II Research Fellowship, and the UOW Vice-Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Research Partnership and Impact. Deputy Chancellor, William Price has played and will continue to play a vital role in advancing academic leadership, research, and education at UOW and beyond. It's a privilege to present Professor William Price to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I admit you as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong. Congratulations. Very well.
I would now like to present the next candidate who is receiving the dual awards of Doctor of Science Honoris Causa and Emeritus Professor. Will Professor Joe Ciccaro please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present Professor Joe Ciccaro. There are very few aspects of the University of Wollongong and the higher education sector more broadly that Joe has not enriched in his 36 years of dedicated service as a distinguished academic and leader. Emigrating to Australia from Portugal with his family at the age of 13, Joe studied electrical engineering at UOW and began his career at BHP Port Kembla Steelworks. Following his passion for the life-changing potential of education, he joined the university as a lecturer in 1985 and completed his PhD in 1990. In the ensuing years, he attracted significant competitive grants and industry research funding, published over 250 highly cited and influential papers, and was elected senior member of the Institute of Electrical Engineers. In the 2 decades he spent teaching at UOW, Joe was much loved by his students, who he always encouraged to live up to their academic capabilities. Similarly, academic colleagues, heads of school, deans from across the university would sought out Joe whenever they faced challenges. He was always a trusted source of wisdom and advice. Throughout his career, Joe has variously served as Managing Director of the Institute for Telecommunications and IT Research, Research Director of the CRC for Smart Internet Technology, Head of the School of Electrical, Computer and Telecommunications Engineering, and Dean of the Faculty of Informatics. Joe joined the executive leadership team in 2008 as Pro Vice Chancellor International, and subsequently serving as Deputy Vice Chancellor, he served across the international, global strategy and academic portfolios, and as Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor of UOW from 2019 until his retirement. Among his countless achievements, Joe was instrumental in forging and enhancing UOW's partnerships in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. And he expertly steered the university through its reaccreditation with the Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency. He was a central figure in the development of many of the crucial strategies and initiatives, including major curriculum transformations and the integration of technological enhancements, and the establishment of a major UOW campus in Liverpool. Joe's impact on the wider education sector has been similarly immense. He served as President of the Australian Council of Deans of Information and Communication Technology and on numerous industry and research boards and panels, including as a member of the National Higher Education Standards Panel and Chair of the Australian Research Council's Mathematics, Information and Communication Sciences Panel. In 2007, Joe added an Order of Merit from the President of the Portuguese Republic to his many accolades. Deputy Chancellor, Professor Joe Ciccaro has played a pivotal role in the university's transformation into a global institution renowned for teaching, learning, and research excellence. His contributions have advanced communication technology and higher education globally. It's a privilege to present Professor Joe Ciccaro for a Doctor of Science honoris causa and to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa, and I also admit you as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong. Congratulations, Joe. Very well deserved.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Emeritus Professor Joe Ciccaro to give the occasional address today. Please join me in welcoming Emeritus Professor Ciccaro.
Deputy Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, members of the University, graduates, distinguished guests, friends and family. Before I begin, I acknowledge that this is home to the people of the Five Island Dreaming. Graduates, they say that repetition is the mother of learning. We have a technical term for it, it's called reinforcement. And so, like other speakers today, can I start by offering my personal heartfelt congratulations to each of you on your successful graduation from the University of Wollongong. This day belongs to you as you celebrate what is by any measure a milestone achievement and most likely a tipping point in your life. I know that it has not been easy for you to get to this point. The educational process of acquiring and mastering new knowledge and skills is often a deep personal struggle for everyone under normal circumstances. The fact that you've managed to do it during a major pandemic and all its challenges should serve to give you greater confidence and be proud of yourselves. Graduation was your goal, but as we all have all discovered, it's often the journey that defines who you are. You have had a unique lived experience that has touched many important people in your life, like your parents, your partners, friends, and even strangers who have all helped, and some have sacrificed to support you along the way. So, like true technologists, don't hold back. Celebrate this success with your loved ones. Can I also take this opportunity to congratulate my dear colleagues and friends, Senior Professor Paul Cooper and Will Price, on their Emeritus Professor Awards for what is a lifetime contribution to and dedication to the advancement of knowledge and learning and teaching. Graduates, you may have gathered that my association with the University of Wollongong started a long time ago. Indeed, I don't think any of you were born at that time. I started in 1977 as a part-time electrical engineering student working in the local steel industry. It was like having a full-time job whilst studying on my spare time. It sounds tough, but on reflection, it was one of the best times of my life. The university was quite small then, just a couple of thousand students, catering mostly for part-time students like myself. I come from humble beginnings. I was first in my family to go to university, and I found the University of Wollongong to be a wonderfully nurturing environment that catered for people like me. There's no ivory towers at UOW, only open doors, practical and down to earth, and above all, focused on student success, not just in their studies, but more importantly, preparing them for future careers. I'm proud to say that this can-do culture continues to be a core element of UOW's DNA. It has been a constant ever since I joined as an academic member in 1985. As you've heard, UOW is ranked in the top 1% of global universities, a most remarkable achievement. But notwithstanding this global prominence, it remains a university of the people, deeply embedded and serving local communities, not just in Australia, but around the world. People have asked me, what is the biggest takeaway from my time at the University of Wollongong? Fair question. I guess you could say that I found my purpose here. I firmly believe in the transformative power of higher education. I have lived it. I have seen with my own eyes the amazing impact that it can have on students from all walks of life. I have also had the opportunity to follow my passion of doing research and being at the forefront of innovation. Magic does happen at UOW, and I hope that, like me, you have experienced some of it. Now, to the future, and what humble advice can I offer you as you embark on your professional career? I'm conscious of the fact that I'm also addressing my son, Robert Chicharo, who is graduating with me today with his master's degree. And even if you forget what I say, and most of you will. He won't, and he will remind me for a long time, so there's no pressure. We're all facing a much more turbulent and uncertain world where the pace of change is phenomenal, as is the order of complexity. Climate change, geopolitical instability, amongst others, form what we might call a perfect storm. The upside is that our society needs your acquired knowledge and analytical skills more than ever. There are lots of opportunities to contribute and make a difference. As engineers and information scientists, we are all bound by a strong set of ethics and values, which include honesty, integrity, accountability, respect for life and property, a concern for public safety and welfare, among others. In a world of fake news and misinformation, these principles are more important than ever. And I urge you to hold them onto them. Be brave, speak out and take action, and be a force for good. Back yourself for success by having full confidence in the knowledge and skills that you have acquired during your time at the university. You have learned and experienced a great deal during your time at UOW. Continue to reflect on it, use it, expand on it. Don't let it sit there dormant. One of the greatest skills that you have developed is the ability to teach yourself and to problem solve. Remember that the half-life of knowledge continues to decrease at a rapid rate. Without putting too fine a point on it, you are already behind if all you have is the knowledge that you learned yesterday. The university can help with ongoing education and support. Be an active alumni and stay connected. Finally, remember that success is not simply achieved through technical knowledge and skills alone. There are other essential ingredients that you need for complete success. You need to be flexible and adaptive as an individual. Always, always keep an open mind. You need to establish and maintain long-term trust relationships with individuals and groups. I have no doubt that you can succeed, but I also ask you to reflect on a famous saying by a great basketball coach named John Wooden. He said, and I repeat, ability may get you to the top, but it's character that keeps you there. Finally, remember that your journey is at least as important as the destination. People around you are important. They do matter. So be generous, respectful and kind. Congratulations, one and all. Enjoy the day and thank you.
There are only open doors at UOW, and the university is committed to student success. Thank you, Joe, for your role in shaping the culture of this university over the many, many leadership roles that you held over a long association with us. And thank you for your inspirational address today. So I would now like to invite Jackson Gunn to deliver the vote of thanks. Jackson is graduating today with a first-class honours in the Bachelor of Engineering Honours Scholar. He has been recognised with several prestigious awards, including a place on the Dean's Merit List in both 2019 and 2020. In addition, and here I'm about to read a very long list, he has received the Undergraduate Scholarship, the Academic Achievement Scholarship, the University of Wollongong's Vice-Chancellor's Academic Excellence Scholarship, the Blue Scope Mechanical Prize, the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering Discipline Second-Year Prize for his outstanding academic performance in second-year subjects. That's quite a list. Please welcome Jackson.
Deputy Chancellor, members of the university, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, family and friends. I stand before you today with the honour and privilege of delivering the vote of thanks on behalf of the cohort of graduates from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Sciences. Firstly, I would like to thank Emeritus Professor Joe Ciccaro for their words of wise advice. I am certain that your message about the journey being just as important as the destination is one which all of the graduates today can resonate with and take onwards into their future careers. As has been said many a time before, and certainly it will be said again in future, the ceremony today marks the culmination of many years of commitment and dedication to a goal that we should all be proud of achieving. All of us here have succeeded in accomplishing that which at times, oftentimes would seem unattainable. With that in mind, now having received our new qualifications, it indeed feels relieving to have climbed to the next camp on the mountain of what we consider tertiary education. Some of us here today have and will indeed go into future postgraduate studies or beyond, and others, myself included, will take the photos today and spend the next 6 or so months telling every recruiter that will listen about how excellent and amazing our most recent journey was. Both of these are valid paths, I believe. As with the theme of graduation, all of our futures are now ours for the taking. Looking back on our time at the University of Wollongong so far, none of us really could have predicted at the start what we would be in for. For those who started their studies in 2019, like me, we were fortunate enough to see the final glimpse of the pre-pandemic life. Our only worries being, would I have to fight to the death to get the tutorial slot I wanted? Will I have time to visit the uni bar at lunch between lectures? And how in the world will I be able to fit a semester's worth of revision into that week 14 study break before we do our exams? Fast forward to today, some of those worries remain unchanged. However, the world around us has indeed changed and introduced new challenges that we would have to show resilience to overcome. This resilience that we have built up, all of us have built up, is a key reason for explaining how we made it here today, but it goes without saying that we did not achieve these feats alone. The support networks around us are what pulled us up when we were down, encouraged us along when we needed a push, coached us when we made mistakes, and ultimately believed in us when we needed it most. Therefore, on behalf of all the graduates in this cohort, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to the university as a whole for facilitating this great opportunity for all of us. UOW has been the springboard that will launch us into our next journey as functioning members of the community, and for that, we are eternally grateful. I would also like to thank the teachers and other educating staff for their tireless efforts to share their passions and enrich us with their knowledge, despite the challenges of transitioning into and out of online learning. Also, to our family and friends, without your sacrifices and unwavering support, many of us may have left this journey unfinished. With that, I would like to invite all of the graduates here today to stand, to turn to our families and supporters and join me in thanking them by giving them a warm round of applause. So could I have graduates please stand? Thank you, graduates. Please be seated. In closing, I would like to extend my final thanks to the cohort itself. We have helped each other through this journey, and we understand firsthand the commitment it takes to reach this point. Beyond this, we have also established friendships and relationships here that will be lifelong and we will always remember. Today is most certainly about celebrating us and our achievements, but in doing so, we recognise that we stand on the shoulders of giants to reach our own new heights. Thank you.
Graduates, families, friends, and colleagues, we're coming close to the end of our ceremony today. Now, we're very fortunate to have lovely weather. You might have noticed there's no rain, which is absolutely fantastic. But it's quite windy, you might have noticed. And with that in mind, I've been handed this announcement to say that drinks and food will be served in the rectangular tent in the corner, and that's just to protect it all from the wind. So, we now wish to share with you our graduation video. We hope this video will encourage you to reflect on the infinite moments that have led to where you are sitting today.
Everything we've done has led towards today. But graduation seems singular. After all, it's one day, one degree, one end and one beginning. Think about it this way though. If we divide today by 4 years,
or 5 years,
or 3 years,
or 8 years,
the equation becomes clearer. Because today isn't just an event or a graduation or a moment of change. It's what we've created through 24 subjects.
11 all-nighters.
357 books read.
54 5,000.
40 monologues critiqued.
154 films watched.
And 4 films made. Let's be real though. Our experience is way bigger than just the classroom. You've got to factor in
665 hypotheses.
6 heated dramas.
2 semesters abroad. 5 new cultures experienced.
12 concerts attended.
843 waves ridden.
169 hours lounging around.
17 dance parties.
2 major heartbreaks.
And more lifelong friendships than we can count.
When we take those experiences, the long days, late nights and early mornings into the equation, we realise that graduation at the University of Wollongong isn't just some singular thing.
That it's a transition from finding our purpose
to changing our world with the purpose we found. That our passport to the future has been stamped.
With the mark of a globally respected education.
And most importantly, we realise the moments that led up to this are
a tapestry,
a symphony,
an equation,
a 65,000-year-old history.
We realise that though today is a single moment, graduation is much bigger than any one day. Because, like an algorithm made up of bits of code,
or a building built from many bricks,
or a community built from many different people, today is the result of our
experiments,
experiences,
tests,
trials,
and victories.
So that's what we celebrate today. Not the cap, not the gown, but the infinite number of moments we shared at the University of Wollongong.
I do love that video each time I see it, and that reminder of the many, many moments, big and small, formal and informal, that have made up your journey to be here today on your graduation. Before I formally close, friends, family and guests, it's now our turn. So I'll please ask our graduates to remain seated while the rest of us please stand. And please join me in congratulating our graduates by giving them a warm round of applause. Thank you. Please be seated. I would really like to thank the students and staff who have volunteered their time today to assist us with this celebration. We all feel incredibly proud to celebrate with our graduates here today. We would like to invite you all to join us outside under the marquee for light refreshments and to continue to congratulate our graduates. Our mace bearer will lead the academic procession, followed by the graduates and then our VIPs. So guests, please be patient and remain in your seats as the ushers will be giving you instructions on safely exiting the venue. So please take direction from them as you will be exiting row by row. So congratulations once again to each of our graduates, and I now declare this graduation ceremony closed.